In this video, we are going to walk through everything you need to know regarding ATAS, how to set it up correctly, and have everything work well for your best trading experience. We will going through how to set it up, which plan to choose, how to open trades, set up cluster charts, how to work with indicators, how to create templates, workspace, everything that you need to know. In the description, I will add time links. That's why if you need a specific topic, simply look, because that would be most things that you really need with this platform. Step number one, of course, if download and create account. Below this video, there would be a link which you can use to get a free 2-week trial. There would be this website, ATAS.net. Here, as you can see, you can choose languages that you prefer, for example, English, Deutsch, Spanish, Ukrainian, Italian. Choose whatever you wish. After that, there would be this one, start for free. And here you write your email, put this and this. The best side of ATAS that you can get 2-week free trial to really test the water to see if this platform really suits you. Because with many other platforms, you will pay upfront even without understanding do you like it or not. Here write your email that you use, because on email you will get login a password that you will use to log in into your personal account and also log in into a platform. Okay, you created account. What you need to do to log in, and after that go to your personal account, because first you need to download platform by itself, and second you need to check, maybe you'll have a desire to change your password, because temporary isn't the best. It's easy to do here. My profile, as you can see, your email, second current password, and here you can create your password, and you can choose mailing preference. And for example, you don't want to use some platform updates, but you would like to read new articles and videos or something like this, and simply save. The next one, it is when you go to ATAS shop, it is to choose a plan. I personally use this one Ultra because I do trade futures through ATAS, and ATAS is the best in this case because you have following manager, market reply, Heatmap. Major difference that there is no, as you can see, indicators per chart simultaneously, free active connection to exchange data, unlimited connection, because I do crypto, I need it. If you a beginner at this moment, you have a 2-week free trial. That's a reason why for you it would be better to choose to test it. I recommend you to test it with Ultra. And additionally, quite a lot of people buy a lifetime. Regarding lifetime, I recommend you to check if you really need it, because if you want to make trading your profession, after, I would say, 4 years that I use ATAS, it would be better for me, of course, to buy Ultra, because it would be the most cost effective. But honestly, most of people don't need it, because most of you will, you will test it for several weeks and understand that trading isn't for you. That's why for most of beginners, 3 months it is the optimal choice, because you have discount and you have normal price. That's why my advice to you, start with 3 months. After, of course, you need to download the platform by itself. You go to download. Remind to you that the ATAS on for Windows and also the ATAS X for macOS. I personally have Windows. Get ATAS for Windows, and write in the comment, should I record separate really easy tutorial for macOS also. Get ATAS for Windows. Here would be this setup file. You open it, and after that is a normal program. You simply go and create it. Here you can read license agreement, and you simply create and set it up. Okay, the next step for you is to log in into a platform and start connecting all data and creating all indicators. You can see when you start this window for the first time, there would be your login, it would be your email, password. It is, if you change it, it is what you changed, or password that you got on your email. Server, in most cases I use Auto. Workspace, at this moment you won't have any Workspace, because Workspace, it is your saved charts, how they I will show to you when we set up platform how my Workspace helped me to save ton of time. Remember data, yes. If you forgot password, it's easy to change here. And version, as you can see, the free version, stable, latest, and beta. Stable, this platform they update several times per year. It is a platform that's been tested, tested a lot. Beta, it is if they release some new update, they immediately add into beta. Updates could be even once per week. Main disadvantage is that sometimes there could be some bugs and they will need to fix it, and you will feel those bugs. It's really if you enjoy platform and you would be among those people who test it and give updates and feedbacks to your task team. And latest, it is in between beta and stable. For most of people, latest it is the best option. Let's log in. At this moment, as you can see, platform is uploading all the data. And at this moment, that's example for you what Workspace looks like. As you can see, I have several windows, have several screens. And at this moment, it simply upload all the information from my chart, all indicators with proper setup, all depth of market, Z-tape, everything that I need for proper trading. That's why I don't spend time at this moment for creating any new chart, something like that. No. I set up platform and you can see seconds and it's ready to go. By the way, I will have special bonus for you, which I will show to you within a few minutes. If super shortly, you can get all my templates that I use to take trades, to make good profits. Even yesterday, thanks to ATAS, I did this beautiful trading session where I made more than 2,300. And below this video, there would be a special link where you can use it to download all my ready-to-use templates, which will help you to understand the market. All info in description, first link, fill that form. When you use ATAS platform, you need to connect data. I personally use dxFeed. You also can get data from your broker. Let me show to you how you can get data from dxFeed. I will add video about this platform, dxFeed Retail, in the description. I personally buy data from this company. They work really well. You can build a Heatmap also with this data. Pay attention, choose non-professional, because if you buy professional, you will pay, as you can see, CME market depth 189. But if you're non-professional, you can buy it for 39. I personally, as you know, I trade Nasdaq index because I do scalping. In scalping, you don't need many instruments. You must focus. I buy this data. What's the difference between CME top of a book and market depth? I explained in that video, but super shortly. With market depth, you can get access to a heat map. Top of a book, you cannot get access to a heat map. That's major difference. What it means practically, like at this moment in front of your eyes, it is a depth of market on Nasdaq, as you can see, NQ, CME, and we can see all orders, as you can see, up and down. What this stuff means? When we see those orders, based on those orders, it's possible to build a heat map. If you don't have access to entire order book, it's impossible. I have two data connections, as you can see, the dxFeed itself and the dxFeed prop. On the dxFeed prop, I do not have level 2. I have only top of a book, and you can see how top of a book looks like. I see only first upper order and below order. Yes, I have access to the tape, to clusters, to footprint, to VWAP, to volume profile, to everything I have access, but I don't see if there are some significant limit order or not. And honestly, big limit orders are quite useful, especially if you do scalping, and I will show to you several examples why you really need it. That's why regarding data, it is the best option that you can do. It is this one. Of course, you can get data from your broker account, because maybe you have account on your broker and they also provide data. It's okay. The same example, even with my team, we personally use not only dxFeed, we also use dxFeed, but through prop firm that we work with to trade futures. It is a trading pit. I did a separate video about trading pit. Will also add it into a cards description. You can see here all US futures exchange data, €12, but it's level 1. It means top of a book. All futures is gold, oil, currency pairs, everything that you need, you will get here. Level 2, Chicago futures exchange data. It is CME. It is which I buy on the dxFeed for 39 USD. Here on this prop, you can buy it for 16 euro. It's nearly 20 USD, like half. Or you need European futures, it is 25 euro. Of course, in most cases, to buy it through company where you have account or prop firm will be cheaper. What's my advice? If you're a beginner and you're only learning, you don't need real account. On ATAS, you can trade through demo with all real-time data, but execute demo trading. Most of our students, they buy CME market depth, they trade on demo to understand, to master execution, and only after that some of them go to proper account or go to futures brokers. What about crypto? Regarding crypto, you need to have account on exchange. For example, if you trade on Binance, Bybit, you need to have account and create API keys. We did separate videos how to connect Binance, how to connect Bybit. We'll add into description. And connected to API keys on exchanges is free. And also you can use this crypto data, which is for free on ATAS. This data is good enough for taking trades. Congrats, you connected the data. Why data is important? Because if there is no connected data, you won't be able to see clusters, footprints, and when you will set it up, for example, clusters, you will ask yourself why nothing works. Because, once more, because you did not set up data. What we need to master with you, it is how to create charts, how to create cluster charts. It's really easy. When you set up platform, in most cases, your platform will be empty. And for a start, what you do, you go to home, there would be charts. You open charts. As you can see here, it is my list of favorite instruments. You don't have it because you didn't choose one. And here you type instrument that you would like to analyze. For example, you would like to analyze NQ index. And here, NQ, you can see equity index, E-mini, and Q continuous. I always choose continuous. And that's a standard chart on ATAS platform. You can see here. Let's set it up and let it make like a chart that I personally use with my platform. First, regarding this chart, what do you have here? Here you have this menu. As you can see, it is name of instrument. Here you can link charts to each other. Timeframes that you actually use. Lots, it is when you have connected account, you can trade through this chart. Here you have type of footprints. As you can see, you can choose type of a chart. Here you have all drawing tools that you need. Here you can zoom in and see inside in a candle. You can see it's like X-ray. Indicators, how to scroll with your mouse, and here it is your template. From this side, as you can see, it is a drawing tools. Below at right, you can see you can start dump trader, trading panel. Here you can choose time period and type of a session. As you can see, electronic and regular. Regular for US market, it is when US open, or custom. Regarding time frames, I prefer, as you can see here, we have selected 5 minutes. I personally prefer to use different time frames. For me, it is the best time-based time frames. As you can see here, you could have quite different time frames based on minute, seconds, ticks, volume. You can choose whatever you wish. For example, 500 ticks, how would they look? Additionally, how many days to watch, for example, auto, or for example, 3 days, let's upload 3 days data. Or let's go to volume-based chart. Choose whatever you wish, my friend. It's not a big deal. Once more, push like, subscribe to this video, to this channel, because we create a lot of content about futures trading that will help you become profitable, understand the market, and when you subscribe, you will get notification and you won't miss any future videos. Here, let's set up a chart, because at this moment, as you can see, it is candles. Honestly, I prefer candles only in one case. I use candles only in this chart. It is, as you can see, transparent candles, because I analyze quite a lot of indicators and I try minimize too many colors because they create some noise. That's why here, for example, transparent candles. We can go into settings. Here, background. I think it's obvious. You can choose what type of a background. I prefer gray because quite often I sit at computer for a really long period of time and I need something that don't kill my eyes. Like this one, for example, we have this gray, as you can see on my screen. In most cases, I use only this two type of a color. It is like this one. Let's settings. As you can see here, you can copy color from any other chart if you have, and go here, settings, background, more colors, and here you set it up. And you have the same color as I have there. After that, let's continue those settings. Let me show to you everything that you need. Starting color, ending color. It is when you have two colors. I hate it. If you like, do it, but I personally hate it. Open, high, close color. It is when it shows to you open, high, close numbers. I don't need it. Also this one I don't need it. Indicator of session separation, it's indicator separation. You will see it within a few minutes. Crosshair, it is lines when you mouse. Current price, it is, as you can see, we can do solid, we can do dash, we can do dot. I prefer some dash dot because I like a minimized style, because too many indicators, sometimes it could be quite a lot of noise, and you can see we have quite a lot of them. Regarding grid, I don't use any grid on a chart. New session, as you can see, it shows to you these blue lines. It is a session separation. You can delete, you can make it transparent and you won't see it, or you can make with some small color. I prefer to have it, but mega tiny color, simply to see that it exists. Axis, as you can see, it is your numbers here. You can choose colors, you can choose numbers. Below, as you can see, it is a time format. You can choose, for example, this one, day, month, year, and time. Hour, minutes, seconds. This one is the best. Draw borders. I don't see a reason to draw. Candles. The same here. With candles, you can choose whatever you wish. For example, you would like to have black candles. Bars. The same with bars. For example, you can have black bars. In many cases, I personally use, as you can see, bars. Personally, main reason why I use bars, because once more, I need to analyze quite a lot to see big trades, to see delta, to see delta correlated correlation, also to see execution where I took a trade. And because of that, I don't need to focus too much on candle. And because of that, I use bars. For me, honestly, it doesn't matter, because bars, candles, in the end, it is the same information. Choose whatever you like. Here it's candles. Here you can go and do bars. Bars will look like this. Main difference is that when you execute trade, it's way better to see it. It's not like that you need to only do as I do. You can once more update and do what's better for you, for yourself. Good, my friend, at this moment, as you can see, we set up a view candles, we set up a chart, and let's start adding all indicators. For a start, in indicators, it's easy. Here, indicators. We have quite a lot of indicators. As you can see, it is my favorite list. You can all indicators, and here you can type any indicators that you need. For example, CVD, cumulative volume delta, add to a chart. And here there would be, as you can see, cumulative delta. What you can do with that cumulative delta, let's go to settings. You can see candles, session mode. I don't do any session mode. Custom scale, alerts. I don't use alerts. Positive delta, for example, let's do it's mega green. Negative delta, dark red. Border colors, mode, candles, bars. You also, as you can see, can analyze it differently. Show value, visible, show description, like settings, actually basic. Additionally, in ATAS, really a cool tool that you can, as you can see, save a template. For example, let's do standard. It's standard, but for example, you sometimes would like to analyze for example, default session separation. And here, session separation, and you save it and apply. And in the future, it's really easy. You go to this menu, you can see standard. We switch to standard and it automatically switched. Okay, we have delta. Next indicators that we will use together, it would be depth of market, because I prefer to analyze depth of market on a chart, because here you can open depth of market in this way. You can see it can build even a heat map for you, but I don't like to use it. For example, here we have a heat map, as you can see. We can analyze all orders and all of this stuff. For NQ, also pay attention that there must be proper scale. I personally for NQ use 4. For all instruments that would be different, because for crypto, for some instruments that would be even 100, because for each instrument there must be different scale. Scale you need to set up order book correctly. Regarding, as you can see, DOM, depth of market, I use it here. As you can see, it is my screen where I analyze clusters, the tape, and also here I analyze this DOM levels, because it's really easy and fast to do it, because if there's some significant order, I understand if price retested, there could be some reaction. That's it. For me, it's enough to analyze it visually. I don't see even a number, because if I see that here, for example, this line is the biggest one, for me it's obvious that here it is the biggest order. And if I need to see a real number, for me it's really easy. I zoom in and I see that number. It takes me seconds. For scalping, it's really easy and fast. That's the reason why I do it here, but I don't do it here, because you need to open DOM. It takes additional space. Why would you need it? Maybe for some people you need DOM for it. choose once more whatever is better for you. Once more, I think you can see how beautiful my charts, how for beginners it would be hard to set it up. And once more, you can get all my templates ready to use below this video in description. Simply fill that form and my team will send it to you. It will save you a ton of time for creating those templates by yourself. And additionally, there would be a special bonus because ATAS, it is a tool, it's like a scalpel, but still you need a knowledge of how to use it to do a good surgery. And after that, I will show to you my strategies that help me make good money per day. Coming back to this DOM, depth of market, let's set it up. Depth of market bar. Here, what we have, visual mode levels, cumulative. I don't do cumulative both. I do only levels because you need to see significant order. Proportion volume, use auto size. As you can see, when you use auto size, it impact proportion volume. I don't do auto size. I simply do 300, for example. It is how big it is, or 150. Bid rows, it is by limits. Ask row, it is cell limits. Bid background, as you can see, you can do such background, which I don't like. Ask background. Best bid background, for example. I don't do any background. Cumulative mode, show cumulative value. Honestly, I don't like to use it. And right to left or left to right. The same here, you can set up template, and in the future, if you will need, for example, to see auto size, you can set up, for example, template auto. And in the future, it would be really easy for you to do. What you do, depth of market here, you open, and there, as you can see, this indicator, and simply you can choose different templates. Really easy to switch. Let's set up next few indicators that I personally love to use. It is the big trades or big bubbles. We created, by the way, separate video lesson regarding this indicator. It's really beautiful because you need to know how to use it. Honestly, thanks to it, quite a lot of trades I took. Even yesterday, you can see those big trades price retested. They became powerful support. Beautiful move up. Big trade appeared, price did move up. Big trades appeared, price did move up. Big trades appeared, price did move up. That's why they're really beautiful, and my advice is to use it for all people. So regarding settings, cumulative trades, I use it. Price location any, minimum volume 100, visual mode ellipse, and the most important, you can see, you can make it brighter, darker. Sizes, alerts, you can set up alerts, and the same with templates. You can set up templates, for example, several settings, and sometimes change it. Show a bar chart, as you can see, a bar chart. I don't like it. I always use it behind the chart. And the most important, some people would like to see values. For example, show a bar chart and show values. If you have multiple screens, maybe this one for you would be better. Like ATAS in this case, mega flexible. That's why I love it. Next indicator, it is a bar timer. Let's set it. It shows to you how much contracts left until candle close, because especially when you use tick-based chart or volume-based chart, as you can see, current time until bar close. We will cover within a few minutes additional important indicators. It is a volume profile, market profile, VWAPs, especially anchored ones. But before, let's cover what is a template and workspace, because at this moment, maybe you have a situation that, for example, you enjoy what you created and you would like to use this chart in the future or share it with your friend. It's mega easy to do here. What you do, you go to templates, you go to settings, and here what you do, you can add, as you can see, we add ATAS, education, lesson, and OK. ATAS, education, lesson. What does stuff mean? For example, you would like to create a separate window. Let's do the same chart. Let's assume you saved NQ. And here you can see it is another window from ATAS team that we created, and you would like to see several charts. Let's assume that here you would like to see a bigger time frame. For example, here you would like to analyze 15-minute time frame, and here you would like to analyze volume-based time frame. Like it's just your what you would like to do. And here, instead of spending quite a lot of time with creating templates, you simply do ATAS education, load. And at this moment, as you can see, it would be the same indicators that we've created, you will have on this chart. And it automatically, as you can see, added scale, it automatically added DOM levels, cumulative delta. And here, for example, you would like to do some changes. For example, you would like to add also volume indicator, and here you can have, for example, additionally we can have volume indicator. Also, as you can see, you can pair those instruments. For example, you can pair it, and if you switch between instruments, it will be easy for you to make some changes. Additionally, regarding drawing tools, what's beauty in ATAS is that you can create drawing tools the same as, for example, let's do this one, horizontal line. You build it. For horizontal line, as you can see, you can make it global, and it automatically will be created on all other charts that you have on this instrument. For example, you see some important significant level in the depth of market, and you set up, for example, level with alert before that significant level. And you set it up here on a chart with DOM, and it automatically will appear here on all other charts. When you, as you can see, when you add this global parameter. Also here show, as you can see, show alert icon, as you can see, A, it means alerts is enabled, and behind the chart, the most important setting, so that I personally use. Here you can see all my settings, and you simply can copy. And the same here, you can create, for example, template with alert. You can create template with alert, and you can create template without alert to use it in the future, and it would be for you really easy to switch, because when you open here, you press mouse right button, and this menu opens, and you can see here template. You can do default template or first. Easy. Regarding windows, sometimes you have a situation you need to copy window and add additional chart. It's really easy. Here you do what you do. You open menu, clone window, and for example here you have two screens, and let's assume here we will have, like, let's do tick chart. Let's here by this clicking you can hide indicators. And you can see it is a tick-based chart, volume-based chart. Maybe you don't need some indicators. You go to this menu, this list, and what you do, for example, depth of market, you stop it. You don't see it. At any moment, you can take it back. It's really easy and fast. For example, cumulative delta, you don't want to see it, or you would like to hide it. Here it's hidden, but it's not deleted. At any moment you can open it back. If you need some space, for example, to save space, it is the best option that you can do. Friends, remind to you that I won't be able to cover each topic. I would like to cover as much as possible, but if I missed something, write a comment, and if some comments would repeat often, I will record additional tutorials to help you use this platform as best as possible. And at this moment, really important questions that all of you could ask about Workspace. That's exactly a moment when you can create a Workspace. What's a Workspace, and what's the difference between template? Template, it is what you create for separate and selected window. For example, you would like to have this window, and on this window you would like to save charts. I have created templates honestly for all of my windows, for this window, and this window. Additionally, when I launch ATAS platform, you saw that all of my windows, they upload automatically. That's what Workspace is supposed to do. It's really simple. It is this main window. You go to home, that would be Workspace, and here you can simply add a new Workspace. For example, you can add like ATAS CMD or ATAS crypto. As you can see, I personally have several Workspace, and in the future when you upload it, it's really easy to start with all indicators. And additionally, if there is situations that you would like to share Workspace with other people, it's really easy. Export. To export, you need to save it. As you can see, I already have this file, and I can share it with any of my friend or student, and they upload it, and they have the setup of the same indicators as I have on a chart. And that's exactly what all of you will do when you will go down and fill that form to get all my templates and Workspace. And of course, import. If you start ATAS platform from zero and you would like to set up my Workspace or Workspace of any other person, you simply import and use it to import. Also, I understand that most of you who watch this tutorial, it is beginners who would like to start making money on a futures market. But honestly, it's difficult to do it by yourself. It's nearly impossible. That's why for all of you, best offer, you can get free to our community, where we will show to you how we take trades. Even yesterday, how I took this beautiful profit, what was the reason, what was the execution. Even yesterday, as you can see inside our community, on daily basis, we share how we traded. Plus, I explained to all our community why I took a trade, what was the reason behind those trades, and that's exactly what can help you to become better. Even yesterday, this trading plan, where I won about all key levels where we will trade, and price yesterday played out those key levels really perfectly. That's why, once more, below this video, there would be a link, fill that form and get free trial, because that would be best thing that will help you become profitable. The next important stuff here, indicators that I personally use, it is uncut VWAP, it is volume profile, how to build them correctly. Regarding uncut VWAP, it's really easy to do it here, for example, because here you can have, for example, this volume analysis, uncut VWAP. You can see uncut VWAP, I set up, and really easy to use it. I enjoy VWAP because quite a lot of my strategy is based on VWAP, because VWAP, it is one of the best dynamic support and resistance. As you can see, VWAP you can build from any moment. There also you can create automatic VWAP for a session. I will show to you also, but I prefer to do everything manually with VWAP. Regarding VWAP, what settings? You can see here, it is the first deviation, second deviation, third deviation. It is those lines. VWAP itself, it is this one, red. This one, first deviation, it is 0.5. Second deviation, 2 deviation, 2.5. It simply shows to you representation of volume in time. Behind the chart, as always, also colors. As you can see, I created those colors, and here it's really easy to save templates. VWAP, why I enjoy VWAP, because here, as you can see, I have several templates. That's example for you, how really easy to work with templates. At any moment, I can change deviations. I hope all of you understand what VWAP means. I will add video in description, but once more, it is one of the greatest tool that helps me take trades on daily basis. You easily can look it up, and if you will add any indicator, you won't be able to delete it. As you can see, you don't change, you don't move it. And here, delete. The same stuff you can do with volume profile, because you can build volume profile. You can see, go to this chart. Let me show to you this chart that I do. I use two types of volume profiles. First, I use this automatic. It is market profile and TPO. You can see this one. You can set up this indicator. It's really easy. It is, you can see favorites. It is market profile TPO. You can see here what we analyze. It built for me volume profile on daily basis. I showed you all my settings. Why is that? Because often volume profile and its level become powerful support resistant. Even yesterday, I wrote inside in our community this update to our team. I warned them that with bigger chance value area high and value area low will work as a powerful support resistant, because price is inside of previous day value. And it was exactly how price reached this key zone, and significant sellers appeared at value area high of previous days. That's why I analyze this type of a volume profile daily, especially on indices, especially when price in a range environment will play out as a powerful support resistant quite often. Additionally, I use another type of volume profile, which called composite profile. Composite profile, it is when you compose, it's add several days together. The best option for me, it is this one. We go here, profile and TPO. It is this indicator, as you can see, and you can build, as you can see, profile for days, for weeks, for candle, for whatever you wish. Why that is beautiful? Because you choose a range period by yourself. And regarding settings, what settings do we have here? Profile, you can do TPO, profile to TPO. I don't do TPO, I don't see reason why you need it. Custom front size, you can see it is POC, VPOC, value area high, LUTs. This one's the most important. It is type of profile, delta to volume, delta proportion to volume, delta over volume. For me, delta to volume is the best, because we can have both of them. You can see we can see where biggest volume traded, we can see also where biggest delta appeared. Example for you, even this example for you here was one of the biggest positive delta. You can see positive delta here was the biggest, and price what did massive drop. The same yesterday here, where was the most negative delta? Of course here. It's just beautiful. Additionally, I added hotkeys. As you can see here, I set up it with hotkeys. Uncat VWAP, as you can see, I also have hotkey W. Regarding fixed range market profile in TPO, it is exactly this one. It is this one. I do it for session analysis because it automatically, when we are in a session, it automatically built for me this information, and I see where biggest volume traded. Why do I need it? Best example will be for you here, the significant volume profile. You can see massive volume profile. Here was significant buyer, and from this moment price did nearly entire session moved up. Such stuff often could play out as a powerful support resistance, especially if price reach this level and you see some significant order appears, additional limit orders. It's really a good confirmation that some big players support this level, and you should follow them. That's why I do simply both volume profile and delta. The next tool which is important to use, it is long short position. It is exactly this one. You can see here you can do long position. Here you can write your risk in percent. For example, your account size, for example 10k, you write 100k, your risk like 1%, 1000, and here it will show to you amount contracts that you should trade. Remember that it is a standard contract. For 516 ticks you will need trade very less. Also here you can do automatically, as you can see, risk to reward, for example 125, 124. Additionally, stop loss you can write in ticks, you can write in price, color, you can change color, area transparency. Bigger number, more transparent. And behind the chart, I always do behind the chart. The same with short. As you can see, when you have this button, you can move it to short, but also you can automatically start short. Also, there are quite a lot of other drawing tools. Another one, it is a ruler. What I did, as you can see, I have also hotkey Ctrl+A. Automatically, as you can see, I can calculate how many ticks or percent price did move. You can go into settings, and here you can analyze, for example, what exactly changed during that moment behind the chart. You can do all the settings the same. You can save template, make it global on all screens. Next important question that we must cover with ATAS platform, it is exactly how to take trades, how to connect demo account, how to execute orders. Demo account, it's really easy to connect because they have, as you can see, ATAS simulator. It is exactly when you connect here, you can use it. You simply, as you can see, you have disconnected, connect, voila, you can take trades. When you take trades, for a start, my advice to you is to take trades through a demo account. And it's really easy. Here in account, you choose demo. Let's open any other chart that we created. For example, we created this chart, and you create demo. You have demo, you connect it. Regarding menu, it's really easy. Amount of contracts. Here you can, as you can see, type coins and create a hotkeys for that amount. For example, if you press 1, you have 1 contract, press 3, you have 6 contracts. Next one, it is stop loss take profit. You can do it with ticks, percent price, and you can set up automatic stop loss. How would it work? For example, you open menu, set up sell limit,
order placed,
and here what you will have, you can move it also,
order placed,
and you can see here
order placed,
when price hit that order, let me price hit it, and you can see automatically stop loss were set up and take profit were set up. Plus, regarding calculation mode, you can analyze it in USD, as you can see here. You can switch it to percent, ticks, do whatever you wish. I prefer ticks, honestly. The next one, how to close by parts. You can close by parts, for example, really simple. You can set up limit orders, and if price go into your favor, it will close those orders by parts. And let me show it to you. Because that limit order you can close even in negative. If you move that limit order into the price, it hit it with a market order, and you can see stop loss and take profit updated. Close position really easy. You can close it here by press close. You can close it here.
order cancel.
Congrats, we closed position. The same with short, 6 contracts, for example, sell market, automatically stop loss, take profit. And the same here, we can go to contracts and set up buy limits, and we can see how those buy limits, as you can see, created. Additionally, regarding stop loss and take profits, you have also here the settings where you can, as you can see, set up break even. For example, let's assume after 50 ticks, price go into break even. If that would be 50 ticks, you can see break even, price moved into break even. Trailing stop, you can also set up, for example, let's do 50 ticks. And after each 10 ticks, it will update our stop loss. Plus here you have a button break even. You can see after 50 ticks, it started to move down. Here you have break even button. You can close it. And that's it. What about limit orders? Limit orders also easy to set up. You can press this button trading from a chart, and you can see here you can set up buy limit order. For example, you can set up sell limit order, and that's it. Regarding stop losses, once more, you can write how many ticks, percent, price, do whatever you wish. Also, at any moment you can close automatic stop losses. Also, you can do trades through DOM Trader. It's nearly the same stuff. You can do your trades in a DOM Trader. You can see if you wish, of course. For example, it's really easy to set up some limit orders. For example, you would like to take trades only through DOM, depth of market. The same here. You can analyze it in USD. You can analyze in percent, pips, ticks. Like let's do in points. The same here, what you can do, you can see lots, you can set up several buy limit orders, and you can see those buy limit orders. When price go into our favor, you will see those buy limit orders. Here for you, it's really easy to cancel. Plus, when you move some order into the price, it will automatically close it. And let's close it. That's why you need demo account, because with demo account you will test all of these buttons and you won't make any mistake. Additionally, let's go to settings. Regarding trading settings, you can see here what's my advice to you. Here, pay attention to all these settings. As you can see, one click mode, you can close, you can delete it. Trading from a chart, auto detection, stop mode, stop limit, stop, slippage, trades visible, visible if chart trader is enabled. What this stuff means, for example, let's assume that you do analysis and you don't want to see some trades in previous execution. Like chart trader opened and you can see we have all those trades. Chart trade closed, you don't see it. Following manager, how to set it up and how to use it. Really easy. Main window, you go to home and there would be a following manager. You simply press it, and when you press it, it will open such window. Beauty in ATAS that you can trade on one account and you can copy it to as many accounts as you have. There must be only one condition: those accounts must be connected to ATAS. That's why pay attention. After that, here you add copy group. First provider, it is account on which you will trade and will send trades to another accounts. For example, you choose, for example, you trade on your prop account. Copy trading mode, position or orders. My advice to you to use orders, because for example, you set up limit order on your real account, it will execute, and after that price make instant pullback, but because of lagging of several seconds, there could be like 20-50 ticks difference in some cases between those two. That's why limit orders is the best, and that's why you need to copy orders. Notification also advised to use, because sometimes there could be some mistake and you will have it, especially if you have several screens. Notification is a good tool. After that, you choose account which you would like to send trades. It could be several accounts. As you can see, you can choose as many accounts as you wish. Ratio, it is, for example, here you take one contract, here you will have also one. If ratio will be 2, it means you have one contract. On this follower account you will have 2 contracts. reverse positions, it is I don't do it, and manual confirmation, it is if you need to confirm trades on other accounts, but you can do it only for swing trades. For scalping, it's impossible to do it. Okay. Remember, when you in order to that work, it must be press start, because if it not press start, it won't work. Additionally, show all positions. You can see all positions that are already taken. At any moment you can stop it. Here it is alert notification. Here, as you can see, it is turn off manual confirmation. As you can see, there is no manual confirmation. Really easy to navigate. Here you can see orders that at this moment active. Next important question, my friends, it is a hotkeys. I think hotkeys, it is one of the most important one. Time zones. Also, let's cover time zones. Why time zones important? Because to have proper time frames to see everything right. For me, I have East European time. That's why in most cases I have free time zone. The next one, hotkeys. Why hotkeys important? Because hotkeys one of the best stuff that you can do. Like this one, close position. Here you can set up hotkeys for trading. For example, Ctrl plus delete. When I do it, I close entire position. Volume proportion, as you can see. Open chart trader. Additionally, hotkeys that I enjoy, it is trading from a chart. I have this Ctrl plus Z because they really close to each other. Why do I use it? And I think you will use it also when you will see how it works. For example, sometimes I don't have time and desire to waste time in a DOM, something like that, to take trades. What I do it really simple. For example, I would like to take trade. I simply, as you can see, sell limit order. And you can see here, I set up at any moment limit orders, buy limit order. Or if I need, I can set up sell stop order. Like, as you can see, at any moment, any indicator I can really easily set up. Next hotkey, for example, I have when video for charting, delete selected, horizontal ray. At this moment, you can uncat VWAP. For nearly each indicator, you can set up hotkeys. Really easy and to use. I highly advise you to set it up for you. You can at this moment put pause and copy all of them. At this moment, once more, my friends, remind you to download all my templates because they will help you to navigate in this platform. You can see how this platform powerful and you don't need to waste your time. One small link in description, fill the form, and after that get that masterclass where I will show you my strategy. And my friends, the most important questions that I didn't take, it is how to set up cluster chart, because at this moment in front of you can see my clusters that I analyze, but how to make those clusters looks like mine. Really easy. Go to settings. That would be footprint settings. You can see here, what do we have? Additional footprint. You can have two footprints together. As you can see, that additional one, I can draw border. I analyze delta. As you can see, color scheme, heat map by volume, heat map by delta. I don't do it. We have only delta. It could be trades, it could be volume, it could be anything that you wish. But I use, as you can see, delta profile. This one, it is a volume. You can see you can do trades. You can, for example, volume and delta, mode bid ask, delta profile. As you can see here, delta profile. As you can see here, you can do quite a lot of settings with clusters. Simply set it up. Plus, regarding cluster settings, footprint settings, what addition you have here? You can have border by color direction. I don't use it honestly, but you can do border, and you can choose how big that border would be. As you can see, that border could be way bigger. The next one, text. Maximum level volume, I don't do it because, as you can see, it is transparent for me. And any filters, I don't do any filters. My friend, I understand that I might be didn't cover all of these topics because, as you can see, the additional buttons here, for example, there are quite a lot of stuff, Heatmap, price, all of this stuff. That's a reason what at this moment you will do in the comments. You'll write what topics regarding ATAS you would like to hear, and I will record additional tutorials. The last important questions that I would like to cover, it is a Heatmap in ATAS home. Heatmap. Here you choose instrument. For example, you trade Nasdaq. Heatmap, once more, will work only when you have level 2 data, as we covered at the beginning of this tutorial. Regarding settings, you can see here Heatmap. What you do, it is a color scheme. Next one, view, Heatmap, best price, bubbles, it is exactly big orders, CVD panel, cumulative delta, and 3D mode, it's like a wall. In what cases my advice to you to use this Heatmap, because it's really good when you do mega scalping, because I personally don't like such Heatmap because it takes too much computer capacity and I honestly don't need it. I use this indicator, it is this one, it is a DOM level and Heatmap. Why I use it? Because for me it's enough. Example for you in front of your eyes, it is my working chart. As you can see, those lines, it is significant limit orders that I saw in a DOM. Here I see how price approached it, what was with delta. After that I analyze the type, clusters, and I understand if I want to take a trade. That's it. I don't need too much data, because some people don't realize that too much data is also a problem, especially if you do scalps. And it's super important to see where those levels appear, and for example, if they appear at proper level, there could be some significant reaction. Or for example, here you can see this order appeared, there was significant delta profile. When price started to approach, they started to set up limit orders. Maybe the greatest example for you it is this one, because as you can see, I saw some significant order, price at VWAP, delta absorption. That's exactly what I would like to trade. I was really happy to help you with this tutorial. I know that there are once more additional topics that we'll need to cover, and we will do it when you will write your comments what we exactly need to improve. I wish you a lot of luck with this platform, because it will really help you become profitable. Remind you to that free trial that you can get right now. And here I prepared for you a beautiful video where I show to you how, thanks to ATAS, I take real fat profit, and how you also can follow my approach and take those profits in the future also. Have a nice day.